Hello, welcome to Mystic Moons. I feel like this is a question, of course, this related question has been a theme of exploration at the channel Elon Musk. You know, for someone who spends so much time positioning himself in the public eye, isn't his narrative rather sculpted, carefully curated? Even all that brouhaha over acquiring Twitter and renaming it to X, calling it, well, saying that he was taking it over to protect free speech, a free speech platform. And of course, I'm not sure, I think he has released that he would eventually like, for instance, his platform X to be an one and everything app. So you would have your banking that you can control from there, your social media, your instant messaging, all sorts of communication would be possible from the Tesla, oh, excuse me, not the Tesla, the X hub, right? But I just find it curious that with X, he really put that out there to be there like, hey, he's a transparent guy. Everything that he stands for, he makes it quite clear. He's open to dialogue. Apparently, a lot of people, too, say, well, you know, if we have anything that we want to go and get an answer from Elon, all we need to do is build up the chorus of voices loud enough and he'll address it. So there's this almost relatable, very accessible persona that he's created, in which you will get the truth, at least according to how he sees it, placed out there. You know, hey, this is Elon Musk. These are his gains. These are where he's kind of not exactly so-called winning in life, but, you know, he's putting his whole thing up there, his whole life up there. So it's presented in a very transparent manner. But, you know, looking at Tesla, surely, have you heard that Elon Musk is saying that he deserves now $1 trillion salary? And he also wants to go and have assurance that he will lead the creative direction or the strategic direction of Tesla. And because of his visionary leadership that he's demonstrated so far, and for the path in which he continues to grow Tesla into, he deserves that he deserves that $1 trillion payday. And also, too, you know, Wall Street has valued the company of Tesla on a sliding scale anywhere from maybe $800 billion to $1 trillion. Now, it's no secret as well that with Tesla, much like Amazon, much like Google, but still, Tesla has a whole bunch of government contracts. Now, how exactly has his government contracts, thank you for the like, how has his government contracts been reconciled with actually holding that position, that Dodge department that he created under Trump and managed, where he actually was responsible for the unquestioned dismissal of hundreds of thousands of federal employees. And we're not really sure yet, even now, what was he dismissing those employees over? He said that they were unnecessary. How were they unnecessary? What exactly were they doing? What was their area of expertise? What kind of management were they responsible for? Did they have any touch points? This hasn't been answered, and I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see as I go through the reading. But first, I want to just share a little bit more of my thoughts before we dive into this. But with Tesla and then Elon Musk, with his affiliation that he had in-house with the Trump government, did any of those people that he laid off what were their touch points? I'm curious, with his own government contracts. And what are his nature of government contracts? A lot of the contracts that they have, yes, it is. A lot of the contracts that they have in general, right? They have different security measures. And my question is exactly where is this $1 trillion validation for Elon Musk coming from? Consider Tesla vehicles. They only sell about 20% of their productions. The company of Tesla as we know it, they only sell 20% of their inventory. Other car companies have a much higher rate of popularity. Honda, Toyota, Subaru, Ford. Tesla is really in such a distinct niche. There's a specific type of consumer that goes after Tesla cars, enough so that only 20% of their production on average sells. 1.8 million vehicles is somehow responsible for Tesla being valued at $800 million to $1 trillion of their company by Wall Street. So, I find it hard to believe that the future of the Cybertruck, the current state of the Cybertruck is worth $1 trillion, especially when it's such a niche. You have, excuse me for saying so, but you have a very specific type of demographic. Sometimes they could be categorized as yuppies or hippies, or just simply, it's used as a status symbol. A status symbol is being worth $1 trillion? Are we sure that we're not looking at something else? Good morning. Like, for instance, could it be the AI tech that Wall Street is valuing Tesla at $1 trillion, worthy of giving Elon Musk that $1 trillion pay raise? Could it be their battery technology, even though the lithium-ion batteries keep on blowing up? That's another thing about Tesla as well. Although they're safe on the carbon footprint, they do have that annoying habit of blowing up, breaking down. Their constructive quality is dodgy, to say the least. Maybe they're being valued for something else. Maybe the type of plastic that they're using in constructing these cars. Maybe their solar panels. I don't know what it is exactly that Tesla is getting its valuation for, but it definitely is not the cars. And have you guys also noticed or heard about Elon Musk's plans to go and create a robot army? A robot army to take care of the work that no one else wants to do. Elon Musk has the facilities, the factory space to go and do these mass means of production. And he wants to go and he says he'll go and create robots with the dexterity worthy of Boston Dynamics. Have you seen their videos? They have made Boston Dynamics an MIT spinoff from the Media Lab. They have made no secret of their, well, I kind of side-eye that too. But anyway, they make no secret of theoretically, they make no secret of their advances that they have been doing for decades, really, as they have gotten their robots to be able to handle different terrain, push forward, do certain tasks, have fluidity in their movement, enough so that they're stable and they can't be deterred from their objective. So Elon Musk has been showcasing in about, I guess it was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, his Optimus robot, Optimus model. And if you look at the progressions of that, and think about it too, or take a little peek at Boston Dynamics, the way they have been showing us their robot progress. You know, Elon Musk makes it seem like he's creating some very significant changes with his robots very, very quickly. Find it hard to believe, I find it hard to believe that with that robot production, that he got started with it quite a while ago. So my question is here, with Tesla, is that $1 trillion validation, or valuation rather, that he's getting, is that really because not so much of the cars, but of the humanoid robot army that he's been saying now that he's going to create? And also too, with all those government contracts that we don't know exactly what they all are. Is that what is that what they're banking on? Let's go and find out. So Tesla, my first question is, where is Tesla's evaluation coming from for $1 trillion? Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups with 10 of Pentacles, bottom of the deck energy. So Tesla has their hands in a lot of things. Also, too, in this energy, they have their hands in a lot of things. Not everything could be known to the public, what exactly all their specialties are. They share some things, but they're not sharing the full story. I would say that Tesla really is focusing on an interconnectedness. Not just necessarily one thing, but what Tesla's probably main valuation, their main value that they're providing, is a type of lifestyle, a type of service that is environmental. Could be also thinking in this case too with smart city type of concept, seamless automated touch points from point A to point Z. Everything from environment, entertainment, household, work, travel, all that could be here. But definitely more than one thing is where their valuation comes from and their ability to bind it all together. It's definitely the whole environment, a reality that they are crafting, a lifestyle that they're offering. With 10 of Pentacles, I have the World. I have 5 of Swords. 8 of Swords, Death. 8. So this is some interesting energy here. I'm not going to bother going much further into that. But Queen of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Eight of Cups. You know, how to go and get the right momentum, how to go and get the correct results. Also, too, how to engage people into doing what you want, how to create the right amount of control. How can you create something that's absolutely necessary and a requirement that other people must utilize? Death, Eight of Swords, Five of Swords. So we're talking about how do you create something that people are forced to engage in? How do you exert or foster control? Now, in this energy, Eight of Swords with Five of Swords under death, we could see this as, it's actually two ways here. We could see this as perhaps power players that be wondering how can they go and get the masses into their type of vision, their type of dance, their type of blueprint that they want people to follow along with. And they understand that it's going to call for a different type of action, a different type of positioning than what they used before. You know, what worked before through just purely, let's say, media, so-called peer pressure, those societal benchmarks that they hassle everyone to go and conform to and or obtain. That hasn't been effective or won't be effective for the type of changes that they'd like to go and have people engage in. Hello. So one aspect here I feel are the power players who recognize that in order for them to get the kind of shift that's desired, they understand that they have to go and innovate. They have to go and move differently than how they did before. They have to add something new. Not quite sure what it is. What that is, they cannot go and implement it themselves, which is probably where Elon Musk comes in. Let's also not forget that with Elon Musk's very interesting personal background, his grandfather was pretty much kicked out of Canada for trying to overthrow the the country, because he wanted scientists and engineers to rule and everything to be based upon a mechanic robotic society. Also, too, in this energy, Eight of Swords with Five of Swords, we're also talking about the control that they're not highlighting that's coming, the plans that they are making that they're not sharing with the public. Again, Tesla is known for cars. That's what they're telling us. We know they have government contracts. We don't know quite what kind, what are the contracts about. And also, too, is Tesla really worth $1 trillion based upon the, excuse me for saying so, that fugly Cybertruck that people drive so that they go and have some, so that they turn heads as they go down the street. And then we're back to the world and Ten of Pentacles. So it's definitely a shift here. There's definitely a new way of living, a new set of rules, a new operation, and how to make this as smooth as possible, also as attractive as possible. World and Ten of Pentacles. How to make sure that everyone who's part of this reality that they see, they're invested in it, they believe in it, they support it. They want support. It's important for them to have support, not just pure participation, but welcome the fact that the world of Elon Musk and the services that Tesla offers, what a wonderful type of world that creates. So 7 of Cups on our question of where does Tesla get this $1 trillion value from? I have 8 of Cups. I have Judgment. And I have 9 of Wands. Bottom of the deck energy, 4 of Swords. Gee. Bottom of the deck energy with some pretty intense signs. Kochi. The between Knight of Cups, even that Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, Chariot, Devil, Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Wands. So all this energy right here, this whole spread, and of course 4 of Swords here. Bottom of the deck energy. All this energy speaks of, I'm not going to say sweetheart deals, but it speaks of people who support each other in their vision. You don't need many people to go and start to create a success out of an endeavor, but you do need some dedicated ones. You do need some funding. You do need some support. You need some time. Everybody needs that in order to create something new. I actually do dislike this energy of Chariot and Devil together. I dislike that a lot. But basically, in this energy, we have getting really strong momentum to go forth on their ideas, getting support to go forth on it, the manipulation as well, some with glee. Doing something so big, getting a lot of support to do it. Also, too, one could say that you don't really have to do it that well, as long as you just go, you understand the end process of what you're building. And she could say a good portion of technology incorporates that. Look at all the tech companies that are out there. And essentially, at the end of the day, all that they're presenting is vaporware products. That what kind of real bedrock are they creating? Are they creating things that are only going to be there for a period of time, like a fad? Or are they creating something that actually is long lasting? In this energy as well, it doesn't really matter what they're creating is a fad or not. It's all about the steps. And they also have really, they have dedicated people who are supporting them in this process of expression, investigation, creative investigation, creation into that. Basically, this is like full support to do what you like, and also to whatever sort of rules or morals or what have you. And it doesn't really apply. It's all about progress, but progress according to their vision. Wheel of Fortune and Ace of Wands. Yeah, it's like it's only a matter of time. They could actually share a lot more than they're doing, and they're biding their time to do so. Here's something big has already been accomplished in this energy with Tesla. They've had the time to do so. They've had the resources to do so. The only thing is they're not ready yet to go and green light it. Where does their valuation come from? I'm actually not going to read that much further into this because I do want to hop on to one other question here. I mean, I could continue to dive into that, but it could be hours, and why make it hours? But essentially what I see here is 7 of Cups with 8 of Cups, Judgment, and 9 of Wands. The valuation of Tesla, the $1 trillion price tag, they're offering a lifestyle change. One that is going to affect the very fabric of each and every household, and also to how we interconnect with each other from household to household, business to business, the fabric and community, the fabric of community. That's what Tesla at its heart is offering. 8 of Cups, Judgment, and 9 of Wands. They're offering a different way of life. They're offering new ideas that haven't been seen before. They want to make it as attractive as possible. They're waiting for a moment to do that. Tesla's hands are in, or Tesla's value products are in more than one thing. And I also feel like in this energy, they're a bit so radical that the rollout of these take a little bit of time. Roll out a little bit at a time, not that slow, not that fast. Also, too, in this energy, what kind of problems can they go and solve? So Elon Musk, when he was coming on to the Doge department that he created, he was claiming that he was going to go and clean up government inefficiency, overpayments. So we could also see that in this energy, he was offering a solution to a so-called long existing problem. I feel like saying a so-called solution to a so-called long existing problem, because with him earning the money that he does through government contracts alone, is that really cutting down on government wasteful spending? I'm not really getting anything of use here as well. What I am getting, though, is that offering a lifestyle choice. And when you're offering a lifestyle choice, you don't have to go and make something useful or not. You just have to make it appetizing. You have to go and create a need and then solve it. He's essentially offering Tesla as a solutions company. Company that provides solutions, we could say, with judgment and some of that other energy as well, for the basic infrastructure that people depend on. And is Tesla's $1 trillion worth coming precisely because of his a robot army, a militarized robot army? I mean, think about it. You're creating a robot that can handle functionality, such as being in an assembly line, has free motion, a humanoid shape. Why can't a robot that is enabled to carry a box also carry a rifle? Why can't a robot that can run quickly or climb stairs survey the streets and investigate buildings. Militarized robots. He already said he's creating a robot army. Doesn't take any sort of specialty configurations to take a robot army that is supposedly there to do service work and change that so that they can actually become weapons of war. Is it the robot armies where Tesla is getting that $1 trillion valuation and that Elon Musk is spearheading? Robot militarized armies. Ace of Swords, Three of Cups, Three of Swords, Hangman, all these three energies. Hangman goes down to a vibration of 3. Yeah, it's change, time for a different path. One could also say in this energy, we're also talking about societal climates as well. How are we treating our relationships? How are we valuing each other? Where are we willing to compromise on and understand? What are we willing to build together? What kind of patience are we as a society being fostered to have with each other? What kind of tolerance are we being tasked to have, and respect for one another? When you don't have to meet people face to face, when you can treat someone as impersonally as completely ignoring them, or sending a brief chunk of text worth 140 characters to another. You know, we're cutting down on true communication, and also to trying to understand other people who have different ways of operating than we do. And ultimately, in this energy, it's easier when someone doesn't match what you want, or they're not doing as you'd like, to cut them off, to go for isolation, to go for easier paths where you feel more validated, more understood. Which is interesting with this Knight of Cups, Hangman, and these three energies. Hangman goes down to 3. You know, 2 is a vibration of 12, goes down to 3. 3 of Swords, 3 of Cups. With a breakdown of interactions between one another, disappointments between one another. It becomes an easier way to go and deal with people. Also, too, an easier way to handle and meet the expectations that society has for you, on you. Ace of Swords gets a 6 of Cups. 8 of Swords and 4 of Swords. Robot army. A novel idea that someone has to go and fulfill. public undertaking that has yet to go and become prevalent in our faces, in our streets. The idea has always been there for a very, very long time. And that day when the robot army will be part of our societal fabric has never been closer. So close that they're not even talking about it. So right now what they are in is the soft phase. Selling that idea of robots as being the answers that we need, but really all it is to bring it out into the streets, bring it out into a daily occurrence. With the robots, it's coming out in the service line, or let's say for robot army for services, only because the first step is to get people used to seeing it, used to dealing with it, and perhaps a dependability on it. Robots will be easier to deal with than your fellow neighbor, fellow friend, fellow human, working a job as you come in either as a customer or a client. But we definitely have here with Robot Army, that is an exciting possibility, an exciting idea, an exciting reality that is just waiting to go and come out and become commonplace. Definitely a long time in the making. This is not a new idea. Not a new idea, and I do feel like in this energy, competition to be a part of that has actually been pretty big with Tesla. I'm curious, with Tesla, I don't think it's all Tesla technology. They're partnering with other businesses, other interests, but perhaps it's all manufactured with Tesla services, Tesla facilities. It's more like Tesla provides the meeting room in which everyone can come together and collaborate. Tesla will be the glue that brings all these elements together. That's ultimately what Elon Musk sees Tesla as and its valuation. But robots are definitely the future. Who gets to go and implement them? Who gets to implement them? As soon as we start seeing them off on our streets, rather, expect things to ramp up quickly. I just want to say in this energy from when the first robots come, in a span of like 5 years, 4 years, 5 years, some really big changes will be made, and also too, they'll have more and more authority, more and more control. They'll set more and more boundaries that we, as blood, bones, and skin, will rationalize and accept whatever boundaries that they give us. Anyway, that is essentially my reading that I see here. Tesla's vehicles is not where they're getting the trillion-dollar valuation. In fact, if I was to say probably the true value of Tesla right now is they're probably acting as an internal marketplace, much like, for instance, Amazon. Amazon, of course, has their own products. And initially, too, right? Amazon started off as selling books, but then they offered other products on Amazon besides books. Likewise, too, Amazon not only sold their own products, but they opened it up to other vendors to go and sell on them. And I feel like with Tesla, Tesla is doing something similar. They have the brand of the cars, but ultimately, what Tesla is offering is a marketplace of solutions. A marketplace of solutions to control the fabric of life, to control how society will be regulated, how society will be lived, how lives will be lived. What do we constitute as civilized? What do we constitute as right? And I feel like Tesla has been for a while already been collaborating and integrating other companies' technology, other companies' solutions into their overall umbrella of products. Only instead of going into a marketplace where there are books, shoes, furniture, food, etc., as with Amazon, I feel like that Tesla is offering is that they're taking work done by others, and they are actually probably incorporating that into their robots, into their control grid, all to make their overall uniform, their overall suite of products better. Another analogy, if I was to use one for what Tesla is doing, think about it as you're building a house and you bring in a contractor for electricity, plumbing, flooring, interior design, and so forth. And that same energy. And yeah, robots are a big thing. Robots, though, they're very careful with how they're selling it, how they're going to go and release it. Definitely will be service, but only so that we get used to seeing them as part of our everyday lives in very nondescript type of roles. And then they'll grow from there. Anyway, thank you for your time. And let me know your comments. Do hit the like button if you found this reading interesting. Do let me know your thoughts. Why do you think Elon Musk deserves the $1 trillion pay raise? Do you think Tesla is really all about cars, especially his cars, with his track record of building cars that fail and blow up? There's something else that he's producing, something else that he's creating, something else that he's assembling. And I say it's not cars. Bye-bye.